Why did Yahweh answer Elijah right away when he asked for fire from heaven, while he had to pray for a long time when he wanted it to rain? And why did Daniel have to wait for an angel to bring him an answer? Why did Yahweh answer Elijah right away when he asked for fire from heaven? One could say, on one hand, that it was time for a judgment of fire, and on the other hand, that it was necessary at that moment. Yahweh always manifests himself on time, not before, not after, when it has to be. In the flesh, one wants everything now, hence the impatience. But that is why the Ruach HaKodesh, which is eternal, gives us patience through the Spirit. It gives us patience as a fruit. So knowing that Yahweh is always on time shouldn't affect us. So with Yahweh, it was a contest to prove who the true Almighty is. He will know why he did it at the moment he did. And in some cases he reveals it, while in others it will remain for when we are already in his presence. Yahweh's contest proved the true Almighty. Yahu mocked Baal worshippers, but when he called Yahuwah, Yahweh appeared, honoring his name and showing Yahweh as the true Almighty. The Yahu was mocking those who worship the Lord, who in Hebrew is Baal, because they prayed and prayed, cut themselves, blood was flowing, and nothing happened. So when it was Yahu's turn, he called on Yahuwah, and Yahweh showed up immediately, because it was to honor his name. It was to make it clear to all the people and to the whole world through what is written that only Yahweh is the true Almighty. Besides being a sign, that event indicates something that will happen in the future. In Revelation 13, the same event but in reverse, when the two witnesses are killed to deceive the whole world, just like the false prophet convinced the entire world using something similar, but now with technology, he will deceive the whole world. So since it was necessary at that moment, because it was in contrast to Baal, it was to show the difference between the true one and that false one. That's why Yahweh shows up immediately and brings fire from heaven for the sacrifice. Also curiously, at that time it was a time where altars could not be made anywhere else, sacrifices could not be made anywhere, only in the temple. But Elijah, despite knowing that law, decided to do this because it was to reveal who the true Almighty is, and he understood it was necessary. Plus, he clearly wasn't going to take the followers of Baal to the temple, for example, among other reasons why it happened this way. While when he wanted it to rain, he had to pray for a long time. No, that wasn't when he wanted it to rain, it was when he wanted it to stop raining that he prayed fervently. Now, I don't know why you say a long time, you say fervently. A lot of desire, a lot of strength. It doesn't necessarily have to be for many hours, but with a lot of faith, with a lot of fervor. Now, could that lead someone to extend their prayer? Yeah, but on the other hand, another possible reason why he might have had to pray with a lot of fervor or for a long time is because it was to stop the rain. And that was going to bring hunger to all of Israel for 3.5 years, and he was already being merciful. While when the sacrifice was made and the fire came down from heaven, it was to reveal the true Almighty, to enlighten the people, while taking away the water would cause people in the community to die of hunger. Now that also had to do with justice. Those who had to die were going to die, but Yahweh is merciful and doesn't want the death of anyone who dies. And then it says, why did Daniel have to wait for an angel to bring him an answer? There the chapter reveals it, because there was a battle in the heavens, and it wasn't allowing the angel who was bringing the answer to come and give him the response. Then the word of Yahweh comes to Daniel, while Archangel Michael holds in the heavens, so that he can manifest here on earth and give him the word. Did they not have the name Yahushua at that time? Yes, they had the name, but they didn't know it because it hadn't been clearly revealed that it would be the name of the Messiah. Also, the Messiah hadn't died and resurrected, so the authority wasn't the same. So before Yahushua, there wasn't an intercessor in the heavens like there is now with Yahushua. What happened with Daniel is for us to understand the difference between having Yahushua and not having him. No matter how much you believe in the Almighty, if you don't have Yahushua, you don't have direct contact because you don't have an intercessor. Sin is still blocking you. That's why he started fasting and everything else to ask Yahweh for an answer, and even then the response was delayed because of that fight going on in the heavens. Sometimes people pray in other names or pray incorrectly, and the prayer gets stuck among the angels who want that honor, want that credit, want to be worshipped, and so on. They don't want to allow the response from Yahweh, the true Almighty, to reach the person, but that changes when you pray in the name of Yahushua. So that's one of the reasons why that happens in the book of Daniel. But I repeat, the book of Daniel, that same chapter reveals that in the physical or literal aspect, what was happening was that the angels were fighting, and that's why they couldn't bring down that answer. It was like a blockage in the heavens or the different dimensions in the second heaven, which is said to be divided into 7. So why was there a battle at the time of Daniel? In the time of Elijah, no, but in the time of Daniel, the Babylonian Empire was going to change to the Persian Empire. So just like everything that happens in the heavens is fulfilled on earth in the heavens, the angel of Persia was defeating the angel of Babylon so that later Cyrus could enter and conquer Babylon. So that was the dispute that was happening. There was a change of administration in the sense that the angel of Babylon was being replaced by the angel of Persia, who would then have authority over the world at that time. In the time of Elijah, that change or any similar change wasn't happening, and in the time of Elijah, it was something that was only happening in Israel. in the sense that it was a key event for the whole world, but in Israel, while what was happening with Daniel was a global event in the sense that it was a change of world empire,